So you wanna go hard? So you wanna be the greatest? Your life is a fantasy, and it's all for the taking. Cause this time is down, and I gotta get it. I'm a beast, I'm a freak when it come to winning. Eyes on the prize like it's television.
Hey, it's Josh Jacobs, and you're listening to Fantasy Football Counselor.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. Huge episode in the studio with Tim, the Bald Guy.
Hello, everybody.
Top 10 running backs, Fantasy Football 2020, Tim. This is it.
This is our list.
This is the pinnacle of pinnacle shows for fantasy sports in general. Everybody wants to talk running backs.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they make the points, baby.
This is huge. We're doing our top 10 list. Now, the way we're going to structure this, guys, I want to do a disclaimer here. We're going to do this non-consensus. I'll tell you why. Why do we go non-consensus? Tim, why don't you answer this question since you've been with the show for about, going on 2 to 3 years now? Why do we not do consensus rankings?
Because I don't give a shit about any of them.
That's a good answer.
I make my own rankings, and so do you.
Well, that's a good reason, yes. But another good reason is because the consensus lie, Tim. Every single year we see it. I mean, last year we had, Le'Veon Bell in the top 10, right? We had Melvin Gordon, James Conner, David Johnson, but that's a whole other case. I got to make my excuse for David Johnson.
Shut up.
I got to make an excuse for David Johnson. The coach screwed him. Either way, the way that the things look, the rankings look at the beginning of the year don't look like that at the end. So the way we're going to construct our list, the way we've done this here for you, is the way that we see it actually finishing. So if I say Josh Jacobs at 5, I think he could potentially finish top 5 amongst running backs in fantasy points. We're talking PPR, by the way, 1 point PPR. So that's just the way it is, Tim. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking he could potentially finish at 5. I'm giving you this list because I'm saying he's finishing at 5.
That's it. And the problem is a lot of copy and paste rankings happen every single year. Why does that happen, Tim?
Because they're
I was actually thinking of a new word, chicken shits. I was thinking, but no, I think everybody voted Concheapsis won over chicken shits. So the mainstream, listen, they're lying to you. They're just taking last year's top finishes because they're chicken to tell you that this guy could finish ahead of the other guy. They don't want to look bad. They want to save face. Ever since I came in, things have been changing. It's been exciting. And, now you're getting actual practical advice to help you win. So let's go through this list. Before we do, guys, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Tim, you really want to smash the thumbs up, don't you?
Yeah, come and smash me, guys.
Smash Tim for, it's like punching him in the face. Every time you hit, it's relieving the pressure of wanting to punch Tim.
Oh, if that's the case, then we should say they're punching you in the face. Because then all the haters even will be like, yeah, I got to like this crap.
Hey, man, if you engage with the page, it helps the algorithm. So, listen. Make sure you guys smash thumbs up. Leave your fantasy questions below. I'll get to as many as I possibly and humanly can. Tim will try to jump in the comments. He hasn't been lately. He does sometimes. But also, guys, get the 16-round draft solution. I've linked it here, guys, below. And, of course, guys, head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. If you are listening in the car, pull over. Wherever you are, whether you're in a restaurant, in a toilet, whether you're with your girlfriend, whether you're in the shower.
There is no better place to watch us than on the toilet.
Absolutely. There you go.
Put it on your phone and start watching.
Get the 16-round draft solution, guys. It is the game changer. And finally, guys, we've teamed up with manscaped.com. And why not treat yourself? Head on over there. I love their products. They've got the Lawnmower 3.0 that shaves your balls better than anything I've ever seen. Tim's used it. Look at him. He even knows how it sounds. So the Lawnmower 3.0, guys, at Manscaped. And you want to save 20% on this, guys. Save some cash. Put it in your pocket. Use it towards 16 rounds. There you go. It's a one-two punch. And head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code, what is it, Tim?
Shower Lion
at manscaped.com. Pull over, order, treat yourself. And if you're a wife and you want to treat your husband, go for it. It's a great gift. I'd want one. They've got other products there as well. Manscaped.com. Use promo code ShowerLion. All right, top 10 list. Let's go, guys. We are now early August here. So we're going to work our way down from 10 to 1, build up that anticipation. Now, I'm going to give my list. Tim's going to give his guy. We're going to go back and forth here. You're going to probably like his a little bit better because he's a little more, he's sided with the sheep. Prior to this show, Tim actually called a couple of the Concheapsis, probably got their opinions. Yeah. So we had a little bit of a fight before this because I don't agree with his list. But hey, it gives you a little bit of diversity here in this list. So Tim, why don't you go first? Ladies first.
Yeah? Oh, nice.
We'll let the sheep go first and lead the pack here.
So my number 10 is going to be Derrick Henry.
What?
And why do I think number 10? mainly because he had a pinnacle year last year.
Okay.
I think the touchdowns are going to drop a little bit. He's not involved in the pass. I was wrong on him last year. I've said it many, many times.
Yes.
I will admit it. I'll own up to that. I still think he's going to do great this year, but I do see a small decrease in his numbers. I think they were inflated last year. Number 10, I'm pretty happy putting Henry there.
You know, in his defense, in Tim's defense, I definitely was higher on Henry than I am this year, just a feeling wise, right? But I can't, like, you'll see where I got him ranked here. I can't deny Derrick Henry performing well, but also declining. You know, last year, 16 touchdowns on the ground, 1,500 yards. That's got to go down.
Receiving game, only 18 receptions for 206, which is good yards per catch.
That's a problem.
2 TDs receiving as well. So that's pretty decent for that small a number. But yeah, I see a decline in those numbers.
You know, that's the problem. So again, 10, I think he's still going to be a top 3 guy. That's crazy. So I'll give you guys my 10 here. And this was really tough for me. This was really tough. And again, I don't know, 10, you're really hating on Henry here.
Shut up and give us your 10.
All right. Okay. So this is a tough one. So I got to tell you straight up, there's a lot of guys here that you may think are top 10 that aren't in this list.
Yeah.
Now, this was something I was torn on. It was between Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Miles Sanders. So my number 10 is Miles Sanders. If it stays the same way that it is right now, they don't bring anybody else in. This was a really tough one because it's hard to squeeze 10 in. Now, the mainstream have Elaire in PPR, and we're talking 1-point PPR at number 8. It's very tough for me to justify Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the top 10 on the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, we kind of got burned last year. I was stashing Darwin Thompson on my rosters and my RB5, RB6 before the acquisition of Shady McCoy. Shady comes in, screws everything up. So I don't know if, the Chiefs are fully sold on Elaire being the guy. It all comes down to pass protection and how he does. They've got Williams there. They've got Darwin. They've got other guys there. I'm a little suspect here with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So trust me, this guy could be a top 5 finisher if given the volume. But again, I'm staying away a little bit here. It's too high of a draft capital.
Okay, can you get to why Miles Sanders is your number 10 instead of dumping on Elaire?
Okay, Elaire, I like the upside. He's not in my top 10. Miles Sanders finished 15th last season in PPR points, but he didn't really get started till about mid-season. We hear this year the coaching staff are believing him. They're saying, hey, this is going to be the guy. He's going to get the work volume. Miles Sanders predicated on him being the guy, which he's slated to do, can easily finish top 10. Like I said, last year finished 15th and he didn't even scratch surface on what he could do. Had a phenomenal week 15 with 35 points. Week 16, 26 points. We saw his attempts start to go up near the end of the season. Finished the season with 179 attempts, 818 yards, only 3 touchdowns. Like I said, finishing 15th, Tim. Yep. And he hasn't even scratched the surface. So I can definitely see this guy having a high ceiling if he stays that guy.
Good call, and I gave him an honorable mention. He is like just outside my 10. I think the same way as you. I think he's the guy. Right. He's gonna get the work. He's definitely there. I was debating and I couldn't put him in.
It's a tough one. All right, let's move on to your number 9.
My number 9 is Aaron Jones. Once again, inflated numbers last year. Again, 16 touchdowns on the ground, I believe it was. Just too big a number. It's gonna drop a little bit. He can get it done in the receiving game as well, but I think the touchdowns made him last year, and I don't see the same finish. So still doing really well in the top 10. There's nothing wrong with that, but dropping down to number 9.
Sorry to tell you, man, he is out of my top 10. Aaron Jones, when they brought in Dillon, he is the future running back of that team. I think he's phenomenal talent. I think Dillon gets worked. Probably not right off the bat, but he's going to get some goal line work. Definitely bringing down that ADP or bringing down the touchdowns, and it's going to lower his ADP on for Aaron Jones. I don't trust him. Throw first team. I imagine Aaron Rodgers is going to throw more with a healthy Davante Adams. I think Alan Lazard gets worked in a little bit more. He's one of our fantasy football sleepers. Aaron Jones doesn't even make my top 10. I can't see it, man. I just don't see it this year. I mean, he had a pinnacle year. Not to mention with Aaron Jones, he's only finished 1 season healthy out of the 3 years he's played. So, yeah, a nice guy. We met him. I met him at the one of the shows we went to. Nice guy. Called me sir. Super respectful. I felt really old for a second. But yeah, I mean, super nice guy. But for fantasy, I'm just going to stay away.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, good call. I understand. I get it.
Okay, your turn.
No, that was my turn.
All right, that's right. Number 9. See, I'm multitasking, looking at 100 different things here. All right, number 9 here, Leonard Fournette. I think you got him higher, don't you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Leonard Fournette at 9, finished 7th last year. And this guy, another guy, we talk about hunger. That's one of the factors I look at when I look at running backs and I look at running back rankings. I look at hunger, and this guy needs to eat. He needs to perform for his career. He wants to get paid a big mega contract. He wants other teams to look at him. He's got to perform, and he's the primary workhorse running back with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I cannot imagine him, having a bad year. Now, again, injury, obviously a concern through the years. I owned him a couple years ago. Hamstring was nagging him. It really bothered me and killed a lot of my, my fantasy points. He killed a lot of my weeks. So Leonard Fournette finished 7th last year. Only 3 touchdowns. That ceiling's going to go up. So I am excited about him. Number 9, predicated there's no injury. That's an easy one for me.
Yeah, no. He deserves to be a lot higher than 9. I mean, the thing was touchdowns. No touchdowns to call for, man. This guy put up a combined 1,650 yards and got only 3 touchdowns total. That's horse crap.
Yeah, 1,152 on the ground. That's pretty impressive on 265 attempts.
Yeah, and I mean, his work in the receiving game last year basically doubled from his first 2 seasons. So that's what I'm going with, too. Like, big ouchie, dude. Like, only 3 touchdowns.
Right. Well, we don't have to elaborate on when we get to him on your list.
Yeah, we'll go over it a little bit again, but he's higher. Let's put it that way. So my number 8 is Josh Jacobs, and I'm sure you've got him higher, but so what? Yeah. This is our list. We got a good taste of what he can do. I mean, he's good on the ground. Yep. Great running game. 7 TDs, so, a decent number that can still be improved upon a little bit. Only 27 targets and 20 receptions. So that's kind of what holds me back from putting him way up there, because I know a lot of guys are really high on him this year.
Right.
He did only have 13 games last year, too. So, there's a little bit of room there, too, to move up with just playing the full 16. But still, I'm not as high on him as everybody else. 8, I think, is a great spot for him.
Yeah, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here with Jacobs, and I got to add in David Montgomery. Speaking of David Montgomery, biggest value in the draft. Now, you look at Jacobs coming off late first round, early second. Then you look at Montgomery coming off round 4 and 5. The only difference between those two guys, I mean, they had the same amount of attempts, right? I mean, Jacobs only played 13 games, did more with the 13 games, averaged 4.8 yards per carry to 3.7 for Montgomery. Montgomery will have a better year. So when you're talking value, I still like Jacobs. I'm higher on Jacobs than you are, and I love him. But, I mean, look at a guy like Montgomery, who's going to be a workhorse, who's going to get similar or maybe even more of a workload than Jacobs, and can only do better than last year. So just wanted to throw that in there when you're talking running backs here. David Montgomery, huge value. I know you're not as high on him as I am.
No, but at 4th, 5th round, hell yeah, I'm all in on him.
It's a steal, man. All right, so now let's go to my number 8 here. Now, this was a tough one here again, because I was debating, again, other guys sliding in here. And anyway, I had to go with Camaro here because, I mean, Tim and I were having this debate here. Now, Camaro is always a guy that's going to get you around 70 receptions a season. Mm-hmm. He's going to get you 6 rushing touchdowns. What you see is what you get out of him. You're going to get 800 yards on the ground. So he makes up with it in receptions. Now, is it a guy I like to target? Not really, because I like those full workhorse running backs that are going to get a ton of volume. Now, you look at a guy like Camaro, finished 9th in PPR last year, 171 attempts. Yes, he makes up with it in his receiving game with 81 receptions, 533 yards receiving. He makes up with it. But the fact of the matter is he's always part of a 1-2 punch, and I always like that full workhorse running back. I don't like my running back coming off the field, especially if I'm investing a first round pick on him. So when I look at Camaro, he had a bit of a down year compared to the years before, and it's a contract year. He's going to finish top 10. And again, if he's healthy, he should finish top 10. Now, Tim made a good point that because there's so much talent with Miles Sanders of the world, maybe Kenyon Drake has a high ceiling this year. David Montgomery comes into the mix. Clyde Edwards-Elaire. There's other guys that could bump him out of the top 10. I definitely see Tim's point here, but Camaro, I got to put him in here because, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, once again, Camaro is just outside of my top 10. He is the type of running back I love, as opposed to you who likes a guy that's going to be a workhorse necessarily and run. Yep. I love a PPR machine, a guy who can catch a lot of balls. So Camaro is right there. He finished just outside of my top 10. Once again, the same sort of deal. His numbers were a little low last year, so he can improve on them a little bit. But I just think other guys can catapult in front of him with what they're going to be able to do. So he's just outside my top 10. But yeah, I love Camaro.
All right, your number 7.
My number 7 is DJ, David Johnson. And people keep giving us crap about this guy. What do we have to say? Last year, in the first 6 games, he was averaging around 20 points per game.
Yep.
And then he got injured in 7 and just wasn't the same for the rest of the year. And Joe will make all the excuses he wants. The coach screwed him, this and that. I don't care what the reasoning is. He wasn't on the field. He wasn't playing the same. That's all that matters to me. He is primed for an amazing year this year.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, at number 7, I think it still might be low for him. He might be up there at the top again.
This is going to be one of those conversations we're going to have. It's going to be hilarious. And I feel it and I know it. I can sense it. I'm not a psychic by any means, but I just have a sense. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to get so much praise for this. Joe, you're the only one that had David Johnson in the top 10. Similar to this year, nobody had Derrick Henry in the top 10 last year. Everybody was sleeping on him. I was criticized for drafting Derrick Henry early second round. It was insane. David Johnson, I just read an article on him. He basically grew up with a lot of haters. You know, it was the biggest thing for him to go down to like second or third string last year with the Cardinals. That hits you.
It's a slap in the face.
You're an all-pro. You have a phenomenal 2016 year. You're basically ranked up here with all the top guys. You had a fluke wrist injury the year after. You finished top 9 the year after, which is a mediocre year, and then the Kingsbury year. So he's hungry, you know. From what I'm hearing, the coaching staff, everybody from the Texans are saying that this guy's going to be a workhorse. They've got an amazing plan for him. As long as he stays healthy, and I think he will, he's been working out a lot. I've been watching his tape. He's hungry. I mean, he said he's reached to the Bible. He's found his faith. He's digging deep here. I'm excited about David Johnson this year, man.
Absolutely. Me too. Yeah. And you know what, though? On the flip side, he has to prove it this year. He has to get it done, or he is now a bench warmer.
Yep.
He's done for me.
He's going to do it. Yeah, this is it for David Johnson. He will perform this year, though. So that was your number 7?
That's my 7.
He's my number 7 as well, so we can move on. That way our goals align. Now, again, you can get this guy for great value. You get this guy, steal, fourth round.
Exactly. So you always talk robust RB. I'm taking RBs in the first 3. I'm kind of the opposite because I'm seeing some of these great guys like Montgomery, David Johnson, Leonard Fournette not going till rounds 3, 4, 5. So I personally am looking for top-end wide receiver round 1, and then running back. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, you could do that. This is the year you could actually do that.
You're getting such great guys at value. Holy crap.
I know, but the way I look at it is that I can still load up on these workhorses. So you're sacrificing, let's say you go Julio round 1, which is great, but you're giving up a Jacobs or an Elaire early, there.
I'm okay giving them up.
Then you're going to get Gurley. You might get David Johnson come back, and you might end up with Montgomery. So you're losing that ace running back potentially. But the thing is, the reason I'm going robust is because I know that I can still get a value in round 5, 6. I can still get myself. Yeah, I'm not getting a Julio, but I get a T.Y. Hilton, a Shark. Other guys that could emerge, McLaurin. There's a ton of guys.
A wide receiver 1 on a slightly lesser team.
Yes,
sort of thing.
But those guys, we've seen it can emerge. Shark did it last year. You never really know. So again, I like to load up and feel like I got a good foundation. All right, so let's move on. Your
number 6 here. My number 6 is Mr. Leonard Fournette, who we already spoke of. We don't really need to go into much. The touchdowns were low. The numbers, other than that, were great. The receiving is good. The running is good. More touchdowns, and he jumps big time.
Absolutely. Yep. We already talked about him. All right. My number 6 is Todd Gurley. Love him this season. Now Tim's shaking his head here.
Not sold, baby.
He's not sold on Gurley. What is it about Gurley?
I know, and he is such an amazing talent when he's on the field. I still have question marks about the knee. I still got to be concerned about it. I don't know if he can be that every game guy now.
You got to be a lion, Tim. You got to go for it, man. This is one of those situations you have to go for it. He will eat. He will perform. I absolutely love Todd Gurley this season. He is the main guy there. There is some competition, but nothing that'll affect him. He's got, Brian Hill. He's got Ito. Not really sold on it. The Falcons want to win a Super Bowl this year. They're going to play hard. They're going to utilize him to everything, to his full ability this year.
I hope so. I really do.
I'm wishing him the best, man. And again, another guy with a chip on his shoulder, same to David Johnson, that a lot of ridicule on this guy. He's lost his edge. He's lost his step. He's done. He's, his arthritis. I'd be sick of it. I'd want to prove everybody wrong, So I like Todd Gurley. One thing that did scare me is the fact that he said he wanted to kind of sit out. I'm open to sitting out. That is kind of weak. I don't know. That mentality kind of bothers me a little bit. So that kind of turned me off a little bit of him, but I still think he's going to be the guy. He's got to perform.
Right on. Yeah.
All right. Your number 5.
My number 5 is one that Joe always hates on and probably didn't even make his top 10. Dalvin Cook.
Oh my God. Why?
Dalvin Cook, if you stay healthy, you are a dynamic player.
If he hasn't finished the season in 3 years.
Last year did pretty well. I know he still missed a couple. 14 games, 250 carries, 1,135 yards, 13 touchdowns, 53 receptions for 5. I mean, he's what I want.
Zero business being anywhere near the top 10.
You are
This
so
guy
biased on this guy.
will break his leg by week 6. I'm telling you, by week 6, Dalvin Cook will break his leg. If I'm wrong, so be it. I'm just gonna stay away. I don't want to tune in to find out. He's one of the main guys and one of the only guys when everyone says I want to draft Dalvin Cook, they say I got to handcuff Madison. If you got to have that thought process, that's like saying, hey honey, I want to marry you, but I want to have a backup wife just in case you don't put out in bed. Listen, I don't like that. I want to feel secure.
Well, I think you kind of do, but
I want to feel secure with who I got. That's it. I don't want anybody else. That's the bottom line.
Let me give you my disclaimer. I'm not and normally never will draft Dalvin Cook. However, I totally believe he needs to be at my number 5.
I don't like him.
I will never draft him, but he's an amazing player.
This is what makes it so exciting, talking about stuff after. Like, again, last year, everyone said Le'Veon Bell round 1. Everybody said Antonio Brown round 2. Everyone said Odell round 1. What happened? Everyone said Damian Williams, and I got ridiculed. Damian Williams, Joe. Everyone's like, he's on the Chiefs. You got to be excited. I'm like, listen, he sucks. But that's why I like Elaire so much, is because Elaire is actually good and he's on the Chiefs. So I definitely see the ceiling. Now, that's why Miles Sanders and Elaire, either one of those guys could be in the top 10 for me. And I might regret this by not putting Elaire in the top 10. But, I mean, Jonathan Taylor's another guy that could completely emerge and, beat Elaire out too. But you're taking a risk. These guys are a little more secure. If you want to grab Elaire, Sanders, or Taylor, make sure you implement some of these other guys, the Jacobs, the Zekes, the David Johnsons in there, guys that are more secure with volume and kind of know what we're going to get out of them.
Don't overreach. Draft them where they should be drafted.
Yes, that's another thing. Just because I have David Johnson here at 7 doesn't mean that you should draft him in the second round. Draft him where you could get him without overreaching. All right, so next guy here, Tim.
Yours.
Where are we? Number 5?
Yep.
Josh Jacobs. We already talked about him. I mean,
great player. You see some upside. That's all there is to it.
That's
really.
it. Finished 21st last year in PPR. That's going to go up from what I heard. He was playing with a bum shoulder. Playing with a bum shoulder, that's really good because that's showing that he's tough, and he still did pretty well considering. That was after week 7. So I'm sold. Let's just move on here. Josh Jacobs should perform. I mean, there's no reason why he's a workhorse there. They did bring Jeremy Hill in. I'm not really... He's just there for a backup.
Josh Jacobs is one of only 2 weapons on that whole team.
That's
so
it.
that's all that kind of needs to be said, man. He'll get it done.
That's it. Number 4.
Number 4 for me, Mr. Zeke Elliott. I mean, this guy's a beast. You don't really need to say much. He's just a beast, and he will get a lot of work, get the ball anywhere close to the goal line, and just feed him.
That's who I got at number 4. Now, amazing with this guy, number 1 in attempts last year. So even if he goes down, he had 301 attempts. Now, everyone talks about the Pollard effect. I understand Pollard could be a thorn in the side. I understand it. But even with Pollard there, as a floor, I'm looking at about 260 attempts as a floor. I still see him getting more than that. Number 4 in yardage. He was number 1 in attempts, number 4 in yardage. I like that. And number 4 in touchdowns. So he gets the goal line work.
Wasn't Derrick Henry actually first in attempts?
Yeah.
303?
No.
Come on, check your numbers, baby. Who's right, who's wrong?
Oh, you're right.
Woo!
All right.
Ding, 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 ding.
I was off by 2 attempts. My bad.
Either way, it's all good.
Derrick Henry, you're right. How did I mess that up? I never messed that up. All right, so, yes, Derrick Henry.
All right, get back on track, brother.
Yeah, Zeke Elliott was number 2 in attempts. Either way, 302. We're splitting hairs here. Zeke Elliott is a workhorse, safe and solid, healthy, durable, can't go wrong. Mr. Safe and reliable.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, good. Nice cover there. All right, next guy.
My number 3, another guy who you hate and you don't want to see him here, and I can't believe you don't even give him like an honorable mention. You're a dick.
Whoa.
Austin Eckler.
No business.
Come on.
No business being here.
He's Camaro like 4 years ago.
No. He's
my
overrated.
God.
132 attempts. Let me just let this sink in. I know a lot of people say
Make sure you talk about his receptions when you're talking about only those 132.
But let me just talk about the rushing first. 132 attempps. Okay, let's start off with that. I know we're talking the rushing. 132 attempts puts him in the category of these people. Ready? DeAndre Washington had 108. Matt Breida, 123. Royce Freeman had 132 attempts. Gus Edwards and Tevin Coleman. Latavius Murray had 146 attempts. Peyton Barber had 154. 132 attempts, Tim, puts him with Royce Freeman when you're looking at rushing.
I don't like that.
When you're looking at rushing, now let's pull up rushing here. He had 500 yards rushing, right? Give or take.
Keep selling your rushing take here. Keep selling it.
557 rushing yards. That puts him in there with Frank Gore, Jordan Howard, Royce Freeman, Peyton Barber, James Conner and Alexander Madison in and around. Those guys are in and around that ballpark for rushing. Alexander Madison was a backup.
Okay.
And Benny Snell had 426. So he's in a. So I need a full workhorse if I'm going first round or second round on a guy.
So you're not even going to talk about his 92 receptions, which makes 92 points right there.
Yeah, so that's a pinnacle year. So that tells me that he
wasn't even the lead back.
You know what it's like? It's like hitting the lottery. You've sucked for years. You've been a backup. You've hit the lottery, and boom. Now, I commented. I told Eckler personally in my Instagram. If you haven't followed it, follow Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. I did a post where I said he sucked. He came on. He said, explain why. I said, because you rushed as much as Peyton Barber. Or Peyton Barber rushed more than you.
You just totally ignore his receiving capabilities, man. The guy has amazing hands.
No.
And he is going to rush more this year. You watch.
I'm not sold.
He's going to be 200 plus rushes. He's still going to get those 90 receptions. He's going to kill it.
They brought in Joshua Kelly. They acquired him in the 4th round. He's going to get work. Jackson's there.
Come on.
All right, let's move on here. So
you're number 3.
That is a waste of a 3, guys. Do not get Eckler.
You are nuts.
All right, my number 3 is Derrick Henry. This is more of a number 3, not number 10. But Derrick Henry, I mean, what do I say?
You say, Derrick Henry, you better maintain what you did last year.
Similar offense. Nothing's really changed. There's no new quarterback, no new system. I like Derrick Henry. I see him training. He's still hungry. He's about legacy now. He got paid, but he's about legacy now.
Okay.
Who's your
I just see a slight drop in the TDs, and that's going to hurt his points. That's all I can say.
This is getting interesting. It's getting down to the wire. Who do you got number 2?
Number 2, of course, is Saquon Barkley. After a down year last year, he's coming back. Coming back.
Saquon Barkley, we won't get into it, but this is the big debate between him and CMC. So my number 2 is Christian McCaffrey. So this is the big debate here. So
once again, you have a bias against this guy, and I don't understand why.
So I'll tell you why. Let's talk about the reasons why Christian McCaffrey will decline 100%. Number 1, 471 points. There's no way. No one's ever going to duplicate that again. It's very rare.
Okay, and where did the second place guy finish? How many points?
314.
Okay, so even if he declines 100 points, like, come on.
Well, okay, so Cinderella can only happen once. The fairy godmother came in, they blessed Christian McCaffrey with everything he could possibly have. Now, when you're looking at receptions, 116 receptions, that makes him number 2 in receptions amongst wide receivers. The only person that came close to that was DeAndre Hopkins. I think Keenan Allen both had 104 receptions. You could double check that, but I'm pretty sure. So 104 receptions for the receivers, top receivers in the NFL. The only guy that beat him was Michael Thomas with 149, but that was like record breaking almost. So when you look at this, you're like, okay, he's not going to get 116 receptions. So that declines. You're going to lose 20 points there at least. Okay.
So now he's down to 450.
Okay, so then you got to look at, so my number 1, let's go to our number 1s. Yours is obviously CMC.
Of course.
Mine is Saquon Barkley. So Saquon Barkley finished 10th last year in PPR, and he only played 13 games, was banged up. The ceiling is higher, improved O-line. So what I'm saying is no matter where Christian McCaffrey does, wherever he drops off, Saquon's going to come in above him with a higher ceiling. That's just what I'm saying.
God damn. No.
Yes.
No, it's not possible, man.
Yes.
No matter what, Christian McCaffrey is a high 300, low 400 point guy every year. He touched the ball over 400 times last year with 15 of his touchdowns coming via the run. Doesn't that amaze you? All those catches, but 15 of his touchdowns via the run.
I'm not sold.
And 4 in the air.
Listen, I got him at 2, so it's not like I'm disrespecting him. But still, I'm not going to have him on my roster this year. So whether he comes up with 600 points this year, I will eat crow. I will just not have him on my team because I'm always, if I'm going first, I'm taking Saquon. If I'm going second, I'm going to end up with Saquon. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have Saquon if I'm going 1-2.
All I'm saying is Christian McCaffrey, you can have my babies.
That's a little gross. How's that possible? All right.
I don't know, but let's make it possible.
Is that the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Jr.? Yeah. We're going to find a way. Yeah, the genetics are good with that one, man.
So that's it. I mean, all you guys can comment about the guys we missed, the guys you think are going to be in there. Where's the Joe Mixons?
Where's Nick Chubb, they're going to say?
Yeah. You know our argument against that one.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. Just, like I said, whenever you're drafting a running back, I'll end it with this tip. If they're like this, and you're wondering who's better, then stay away. If there's a big gap, like Derrick Henry and like Darrington Evans, like I think Henry's better. Christian McCaffrey and like who's behind him, I don't even know. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard, like You know what I mean?
I'm a little scared on that one, but
you know what I mean? Like Dion Lewis is behind what some of these guys. Like, I don't care who's behind these guys. Like, I don't really care. Now, when you look at Aaron Jones, who had a pinnacle year, and you've got Dillon behind him, he's a beast. You got to watch out for that. So keep an eye out for this type of stuff. Look for who else is in there in the talent. I think Dion Lewis is behind Barkley now or something like that. But anyway, those guys that don't really matter, the scrubs, forget about them. Focus on the guys that are workhorse, that can get the volume. You will be a happy person.
I am a happy person.
All right, so you'll be happier if you go to manscaped.com and use promo code ShowerLion and trim your nuts.
Look, we did a show Monday. I kind of cleaned up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell. The hair's cut down to the wood.
Using his trimmer. All right, Tim, that's it. Our top 10 running backs, Fantasy Football 2020, the RB rankings. This is it.
That is it.
Thank you guys for being here. Smash the thumbs up. Leave your fantasy questions below and get 16 rounds. What are you waiting for? Thank you.
Yes, football's happening. Get it now.
It's happening. I like your radio voice, Tim.
Thank you. I like to talk like this sometimes.
We should do our intro. That's pretty good.
Right on, baby.
We're out. Talk soon.
Take care, guys.